3 women who beat up a police officer after downing gin, wine, and cocktails in Cheshire are branded a rabbled mob by magistrates, but spared jail. Gotta hear about this 3-woman band here. 3-woman gang. That's what it is. 3 women who beat blah blah blah. Bethany Bennett, 24. Courtney Hardy, 25. Najiri Swanston, 24. And Miley Curley, 21, were arrested after a policewoman was grabbed by the hair and pulled to the floor. Oh, a policewoman. Okay, now it all makes sense. Oh, okay, I thought this was a policeman. It's a police officer. And I was like, was that a dude? Okay, all right. Were arrested after a policewoman was grabbed by the hair and pulled to the floor before being repeatedly struck over the head and body. The policewoman, known only as Constable Dowse, had been called out to a group of men. Hold on. The policewoman had been called out to a group of men had been fighting outside the Revolution Bar in Winslow at 3:15 a.m. on July the 31st, but she was jostled and attacked by 3 of the drunk women as she told them to go home. Swanston slapped a second police officer on the shin after he asked to her move on. This is a horribly written article. On the shin after he asked her to move on when he found her sat on a grass verge. Can someone type this correctly? Jeez. The policewoman suffered bruising to her hip, thigh, knee, and back. There were also a small amount of swelling to her forehead. There was also swelling to her forehead and a bruise to the left eye. Damn. She left dizzy and nauseous due to the number of times she was struck while on the floor. At Stockport Magistrates Court, schoolworker Bennett, hairdresser Swanston, and baker Curley admitted assault on police but walked free. This does sound like a comedy, to be honest. Like the beginning of a superhero group. Wow. Trainee nurse Hardy admitted obstructing a police officer in the course of their duty. Swanson was fined €300 and ordered to pay €111 in costs, and Curley was fined $200 with $117 in costs. Blah, blah, blah. They all had to pay something. Hardy was conditionally discharged for 18 months and told to pay €107 in costs. In a statement, PC Dow said, "I have never had an assault like this before, and at first, I did not want to return to work after the incident." Yes, of course you didn't. You're a police officer, and they disrespected you so much that they whooped your ass. That's horrible. What's the world, what's the world come to? When you're beating up police women. When women are beating up other police women. What's going on? The effects have since left me feeling low, and I am emotionally broken. The situation I was in continued to shock me as I was physically attacked. Right. I am a new mother. My priorities have changed since returning to work, and I feel vulnerable in my role, so much so I do not feel I can perform my duties completely. I have a young child, and he has noticed my bruising on my legs. My child does not understand the nature of them. I do not want my children to see me being emotional. My day-to-day quality of life has deteriorated significantly. Bennett was a former pupil of the $14,000 a year Alderley Edge School for Girls, and Hardy lives a few doors from her in Winslow. Both Swanson and Curley are from Hanworth. The incident occurred in an affluent neighborhood popular among footballers after the women had been drinking gin, wine, cocktails during a drunken night out to celebrate the end of lockdown. Prosecutor Peter Conroy said DC Dow's, or PC Dow's, describes how she felt her hair was going to be ripped from her scalp and how she suffered an intense burning sensation. She was then struck in the face and fell to the floor. She said she was on the floor and was struck over and over again, and she sustained bruising. She sustained bruising as a result. Bennett is the most culpable, as she deliberately grabbed her by the hair and pulled her to the floor, but we cannot be sure if it was Bennett who actually struck the officer. Miss Swanston was seen trying to intervene to prevent friends from being dealt with by the police. She is seen to be shouting and swearing towards police officers. A PC Wood was struck on the leg by her hand, but she suffered no injuries. Miss Curley was also trying to intervene to prevent her friends from being dealt with. She was abusive towards PC Dow's, acting in an aggressive manner, and pushed an officer away. Miss Hardy is the least culpable and can only be seen trying to intervene. She is being obstructive, but not to the same extent as the others. In mitigation, Bennett was described as a wallflower and a single mother to a child aged 3. Hardy is hopeful of retaining her job as she is currently training to become a nurse. Sentencing them, Neil Brettel said, "All of you have been described as intelligent and caring members of society, yet on this night in question, after consuming alcohol, you turned into a rabbled mob. Instead of doing what was asked of you, which was to walk away and allow the police to do their job to keep control of the situation, you all became part of the problem." End of article. Just, oh, it's crazy. These women beat the shit out of a female police officer. Yeah, of course you don't feel like you can go back to work. I mean, that's the worst. The worst is to be a police officer and to lose a fight. You know, like you ever see those videos where police officers are like running and they've got their belt is too full of stuff to even run, you know? And then they fall down and they can't catch the person running away. Like we got to do something about the belt. The belt, that's the worst. That's honestly the worst way to carry anything. You don't. That's just awful. Like you can't run with something on your belt. Like that needs to be all strapped to your chest or behind. Hey, baby, my dog's here. It's got to be all strapped up top. You can't be running with all that stuff around you. You got a gun, you got a taser, you got mace, you got handcuffs. You probably got a few other things on there. It seems like you got everything. It seems like you're going out to hike the Appalachian Trail and not come back for 6 months. You got so much on you. Looks like you got a water bottle on you too. It's just like, yeah, I would get my ass beat too if I was a cop. Trying to maneuver with a utility belt bigger than what Batman uses. Nah, not for me. I'd rather fight without the belt. I would, the moment somebody would come at me, I'd unlock the belt, drop it, and then go from there. Like throw it to my other police officer, my partner. Like, hold this belt. Or I would just beat that person with the belt. There's so much on there. Boom, just beat somebody with it. Gun discharges, shoot somebody. That's probably why I'm not a cop.